In this video, I want to share how I learned how to manage my anxiety levels and my confidence levels in various types of the situations. And I will tell you 3 types of questions I ask myself before those anxiety-inducing situations in my life that really help me to control the feeling and become more confident in the long term. I'm not going to talk about any external factors or any external tips and tricks on how to be more confident. They're mostly focusing on how to be perceived more confident and look more confident, but not how to feel more confident. And I really think that's not the best approach for the long term. So I will focus on how can you start building their confidence from within. As a serial overthinker, I often find myself in the situations where I feel anxious or uncomfortable or not confident. I'm sure you can relate to this feeling that you get when you have to go into a meeting or an interview or present something on stage. You start feeling like you're not sure in yourself, like your heart rate is increasing, your hands are getting sweaty, your voice is breaking. By the way, this is all that's happening to me right now. Making YouTube videos is as uncomfortable as doing presentations on stage, believe me, maybe sometimes even more. Then you may remember all those advices that you've seen in the articles about confidence or saw on TED, where people say that you should like power pose and fake it till you make it and seem confident, look good, dress well, drink a little bit of water beforehand, or look a person in the eye, never slouch or never like put your one leg on the other one. And I think it may help a little bit in the moment, but you still are left with this feeling of being anxious and uncomfortable before and probably during, and in general it doesn't help you to be more confident in the long term. I've been thinking about those situations a lot recently. I've been trying to dissect various situations where I felt very comfortable and confident and calm, and the ones where I didn't, and try to understand what's the difference. And the pattern that I uncovered is that when I don't feel comfortable and confident is the type of situation where I'm not certain what would be the outcome, and I'm not sure I can handle emotionally or in my life in general the outcome of the situation. And on the other hand, the situations where I feel the most comfortable are the ones where I know whatever happens, I can be able to handle it, it will be fine, nothing new, nothing wrong, it won't really affect my life in any big way. In other words, feeling confident depends on believing yourself to be able to handle a situation whatever happens. And it aligns actually very well with the definition of confidence, which says that confident person is the one that has a feeling of trust into something or somebody. And in this case, it's about having a feeling of trust in yourself and trusting yourself to be able to handle the situation while you're inside of it and the outcome of the situation, whatever happens. Which is a really good news because that's something you can work on, since it doesn't really depend on the external factors. It only really depends on how you're perceiving the situation you're in. So now when I'm starting to feel anxious about something or uncomfortable or not confident, I ask myself 3 questions that really help me to mitigate the emotional impact of the situation going one way or another. Question number 1 that I ask is, was there ever a similar situation that I've been through before and managed to survive pretty much? In this case, I'm trying to learn from my previous experiences, whether it's an interview, for example, where I know that if I have a really good interview, I know how it goes in the future, but also if I have a bad interview, I know how can I learn from it, and I know that, well, it's not the end of the world. On this point, I actually have a video about how I deal with the fear of failure so that it doesn't bring me down, but actually helps me to improve and feel a little bit better about myself. Check it out, it's going to be in one of the corners and in the description under the video. So if there was a similar situation that I managed to handle before, I know how can it go and I can emotionally prepare for that. If it's something new and maybe you haven't had those kind of experiences before, maybe you want to talk with your friend or a colleague or a mentor and discuss how can it go, what can be the outcome, what can you feel after a meeting or an interview or a presentation, and kind of try to prepare yourself mentally for that. The second question that I ask myself is that if the situation already happened before, why am I feeling anxious now? What is new? What do I think I won't be able to handle? Pretty much what is the difference and how can I prepare for it? So coming back to the example with an interview, maybe I'm applying to a more senior position. That's why I'm feeling a little bit more anxious. In this case, I can try to prepare better, try to expand the questions I do research on and preparing answers for, maybe create a presentation about my previous experiences and projects, maybe try to research the people that I will be interviewing with, and so on. Of course, you can't prepare for everything in your life, and there are uncertainties and unexpected outcomes, but still doing this step, first really helps me to feel more calm and more certain in the outcome, but also it's generally a positive thing to prepare better for the various situations in your life. But since you can't prepare for anything and there is always room for uncertainty and unexpected outcomes, there is a question number 3 that I ask myself, and that is, does it really matter how this will go? Does it really matter in my life whether I get this job or not? There's always a lot of various opportunities that you can fall back to or go forward to. This question really helps to manage my emotional investment and mitigate the emotional impact on myself and various outcomes of the situation, whether it's an interview, a meeting, or a presentation, or a date. I just feel like whatever happens, doesn't really matter. Of course, there are exceptions. In some cases are really a deal breaker or a life and death kind of situation, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't really take those seriously, but in general, in most of the situations and experience in your life, you can ask yourself a question if that really matters, and your answer will be no, and it will make you feel a little bit more calm and confident because you're sure that whatever happens, nothing will really affect your life. So for the next week, I suggest you do a challenge, and every time you register yourself feeling a little bit anxious about certain situations that's about to come in your life, just ask yourself those 3 questions. Was there a similar situation before in my life, and did I manage to handle it well? What's new in this situation, and why do I feel anxious, and how can I prepare to mitigate that? And does the outcome really matter for me? And I hope that this little practice will help you to build your inner confidence from within. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you like it and share it with a friend, and subscribe to my channel for more videos every week. Have a nice day!